Okay, and in 5 seconds in your head after my countdown is done, in 3, 2.
Hello, and welcome to this session all about empathy. Perhaps a little bit different from the rest of your content today. I'm going to take the next 10 to 15 minutes to ask you this question. Is empathy our secret superpower? And what is the role of empathy today in your industry and in your everyday life? My name is Nicklin, and I have spent the last 3 years focusing on this topic, having written the best-selling book, Softening the Edge, just 1 year ago, and watching the world change as we begin to understand what empathy really is in the workplace and in our world. Now, back in 2006, it was this gentleman, President Obama, who stood up on stage and he said to his audience, "I know there's a lot of talk about the federal deficit, but I actually think we should be talking about our empathy deficit." Now, us being human beings, we did very little with this information for the last 15 years, pace of life running on that treadmill. And it wasn't until 2020 and 2021 when this conversation has really begun to change. Now, the reality is he was very right. We have been suffering with an empathy deficit for over 3 decades. So for the last 30 years, we have seen nearly 50% of our empathy falling out of society, of our day-to-day life. Now, there's many reasons for that. Things such as urbanization, globalization, the increase in the use of technology, and the fact that we are deep within a loneliness endemic. So whilst many of our markets around the world are still struggling with a health pandemic, the loneliness endemic has far deeper and wider reach. And this empathy deficit has far-reaching impacts all across both the workplace and our social world around us. And these spread from areas such as mental health. We have a mental health crisis with nearly 400 million people today with depression, all the way through to workplace factors such as productivity, output, and performance. And I'm going to touch on those today. But as I said, in the last 2 years, we have seen a shift in the understanding of what empathy is and what the impact of that is. And I would bet any money that having watched and listened to me today, you will now see this everywhere. And you'll say, that woman on the screen, she said I would see empathy everywhere. And you really are. It is a trending conversation. And that is across categories, industries, and sectors. You're going to see it widely spoken about in education and healthcare and the social sector. You're going to see government and politics. Obviously, we've looked at Obama, Jacinda Ardern, many others talking about this widely from a social and political point of view. Tech and the tech space, the role of empathy and the machine, the role of data and humanity. These are huge conversations that are trending all around the world today as we really look to this empathy economy. When I wrote my book, this was a topic that simply didn't exist in the corporate world. And within a short 2 years, that has shifted. We're seeing huge optimization of this space and real energy and passion around what it means for our workplace. So what is it? I would guess that all of you have an understanding of what empathy is. There are many, many ways to look at it, but fundamentally, what we're talking about is the ability to recognize or respond to the reality or viewpoint of another. We're talking about perspective taking. Fundamentally, and I say this every day, empathy is your data set. Okay? Empathy is your ability to understand those around you, whether that's your colleagues, your clients, your suppliers, your stakeholders. It's your ability to communicate, to negotiate, to create. Empathy is a data set, and far few businesses are embracing that today. But the reality is there is no human in any organization anywhere in the world that won't perform better, feel better, and do better once a level of understanding has been fulfilled, because there is no person on the planet that doesn't have a need to be understood. Empathy is fundamentally the backbone to modern civilization. It is an evolutionary trait. We are born to understand each other. After all, how can we build even a village, let alone an organization or an innovation, if we don't first understand each other. This is fundamental to who we are as human beings. It is evolutionary. And if you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it is at the very bottom. To be seen and to be heard are the first steps to any level of sustained performance, excellence, or innovation. As I said, empathy is a data set. It is also a skill set. We're not born with a fixed amount of empathy. And this is probably the question I get asked most around the world. But Mimi, do you have more empathy than everybody else? The answer is no. I don't have more than you. You don't have more than your husband, wife, sister, brother, or friend or colleague. We are all born with the same amount of empathy. Empathy is a skill set and it is a choice. It sits in your prefrontal cortex. As I said, it is there to aid the human race, to allow us to connect. It allows us to communicate with each other. And something that I love about empathy is that it also creates joy. It is inherently rewarding. Why? Because as a human race, we need to empathize in order to thrive. We cannot move past just existence to success if we don't understand each other. And because of that, from an evolutionary point of view, we also feel reward, joy, the joy neurons of the brain light up when you empathize, both for the person who's being empathized with and you as the person that is listening, that is understanding those around you. So this is something that you can master and train, and many organizations and businesses, big and small, are training that into their workplaces today because we know it impacts business indicators. Now, that's not just me talking about that. That is plenty of data from Harvard Business Review, UCLA, across the board. Data shows that when we see high levels of empathy in the workplace, we also see higher levels of performance, output per capita, so literally on a one-by-one basis, higher levels of motivation, higher levels of tenure and loyalty, and lower levels of things like absenteeism. So fundamentally, we know this is a skill set you can train, and when you do, you see all workplace indicators improve. It is an industry currency. And really, when you think about it, of course, whilst our skill sets are absolutely critical, your technical capacity, your cognitive abilities in your job is why you have your job. It is why you are great at what you do. But how we deal with each other, how we communicate with each other as humans, that's what allows us to actually drive performance to real exceptional growth. The fundamental reality is all truly transformational leaders have a deep understanding of others. If you look at any of the leaders you admire, you look up to in your organization, on LinkedIn, in the news, those leaders that really resonate with people are the ones that have understood their audience. They are able to amend the way they talk, the way they motivate, the way they pull people together to fit their audience. They're able to really temperature check the cultures in their organization and get people not only to perform, but to want to perform. And again, as that empathy goes up, as people feel seen and heard by their leadership, we see hours worked and quality of output go up. And that is a choice. As I said earlier, empathy is a choice, and the impact of that empathy allows people to change how they behave. Beyond that, many of you may have an entrepreneurial flair in your role, in your personal life, or even just a side hustle. And again, when we have tracked the impact of empathy in the world of entrepreneurship, what we know is that those entrepreneurs with deep empathy, both for the product, the category, and their consumer, we see far higher levels of success and longevity of those businesses. The entrepreneurs that have listed and made their millions tend to be the ones that have truly understood their market segment and their consumer in a way that their competition never did. Empathy is your competitive edge. It is what will allow you to stand out in your industry. It can be your commercial superpower. As I said, this is based on data that we have tracked all around the world. When you look at organizations that have high levels of empathy, you see them outperform those that have lower levels of emotional intelligence in their organization. Empathy is going to impact not only your business,
Mimi, we have just lost you. We are Mimi. Just pause in your presentation there. We've lost your connection. Snable, please can you let me know in the comments if it's just me? Mimi? Mimi?
You can choose to use or not
Mimi?
use your empathy. Fundamentally, the backbone to
Mimi?
all empathy, to this choice, is to
Mimi?
listen. Yes.
Sorry, I lost you there for oh, I'm losing you again.
Okay. Where did you lose me?
Just hang on about a minute ago. So at the beginning of your last slide, you were saying something about empathy for businesses. Snable, was that just me, or was that the case for you too?
Yes, Sabrina, I face the same challenge.
Okay, awesome. So Mimi, I think we need to try get a stronger connection because we just lost you again.
Okay. Which slide did you get to?
Okay, go back one. Go back one more. I just want to see which one's before this. Yeah, it was the next one. And you were
I think it
mentioning.
might have been this one.
Oh yeah, wait. Was it this Snable? Was it this one or the previous one?
I don't
I
think
think
it was the
this
previous one. I think.
It's better we start from the previous slide just to be safe.
in case.
Okay. All right. Okay, ladies, I'll carry on.
Apologies for that. Your connection is still quite.
Have you lost the video now? For Mimi, is it the same for you, Sabrina?
Yes, I have.
Can you hear me, ladies?
We can hear you, but we've lost your video.
I don't know why. I'm on Wi-Fi in the middle of Media City in Dubai. Like that's super. I don't know what's going on today. Can you see me now? Okay.
No, it's frozen on your face.
I can see me online.
Okay, now it's back.
Yeah.
So let's
Okay.
see.
I'm gonna carry on.
Okay, awesome. I'll bring back your presentation. And I'm removing Snable. 5 seconds in your head, and then you can start again.
Okay. So empathy truly is your competitive edge. It is your commercial superpower. When we've tracked this data around the world, we have seen that the businesses that use empathy, both with their teams and with their clients and their markets, we see superior performance. The reality is our world needs empathy to thrive, to grow. As human beings, we're not meant to be alone. We do better when we are together. Empathy is a choice, and the choice to do that, the choice to listen, to hear those around you, is your power to do something great, not just for our society and for our people, but for the colleagues and teams and people that you lead and work with. So if empathy is a choice, then listening is the backbone to that decision. Today, as you hear this speech and you go away and you think about this further and bring it to life, the decision to listen, to truly hear what people are saying, to listen, to understand, and not just to listen to reply, is within your power. That ability to connect you with your people, your audiences, and your teams has a far wider impact than just that one conversation. It really can change the world. It was Virginia Woolf who said that though we see the same world, we see it through different eyes. Today, you have all seen the same slides, the same Mimi, the same brown t-shirt and background. You have seen the same thing, but what you took away from this presentation, the pieces you will remember or resonate with, those are yours and yours alone. And that is what empathy teaches us, to be able to see the world from the perspective of another and realize that though we may see the same thing in our workplace, in the product or meeting that we're reviewing, but how we see that is entirely individual. Why do I get up to do this every day? Why did I quit my corporate career and focus on this? Because this matters. These are values that matter to our world. And a society without values is devoid of humanity. And a society without humanity is a very scary reality. And I would argue that when you turn on the BBC or the CNN news right now, we're seeing examples all around us of society without humanity, of workplaces with high burnout without humanity. And that is a scary reality. This matters, these are values that matter, and you have the power to really create change as we all move out of this pandemic and into the year ahead, as we look forward to what is really an 8-year decade, because so much of 2020 and 2021 has already passed. I want to thank you for listening today. My name's Mimi Nicklin, and I would love to connect further. Any of the data that you've heard, I am very willing to share, so please do reach out. Thank you very much for being here with me. Okay, ladies, all good?
Yes, that was a wonderful presentation.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't know what happened to the Wi-Fi halfway through. As I said, I'm literally in a skyscraper in Media City. It couldn't be more central.
Oh, well, it's okay. We fixed it. So no stresses there. Where can I actually find you on social media, Mimi? I'm very intrigued to listen to your podcast.
Oh, thank you. Well, my podcast is the Empathy for Breakfast show. You can see the logo on the screen there next to my book. That's on all platforms. But if you find me at Mimi Nicklin on everything, Instagram is my most active platform, but I'm also very active on LinkedIn and TikTok as well. And I'd love to connect with you.
Amazing. Have you ever seen the YouTube show Jubilee?
No, I don't know that one.
You really should go look at them. I watch them all the time, and they are very based around empathy too. Just interviewing various different groups of people and their experiences. It's very interesting.
Ah, well, I'll definitely have a look. I'll definitely look that up. Thank you.
I'll post it in the chat for you.
Oh.
Mimi, could you please confirm your title in the chat?
Yes, let me put it there now.
And then we've just got to do the 1 minute teaser. Snable, do you have the script for that?
No, I don't have it to drop in the chat, but I can tell Mimi. So Mimi, basically, a few words that you could be speaking in the teaser video is. So basically, we would be posting it on social media. So you'll have to say something like, "Hi everyone, I'm Mimi," and then you can tell the audience a bit about yourself, what you would be speaking in your session, and to register for the Westcon Comstore's Imagine Middle East event. And that's about it, really.
What's it called? Imagine Middle East. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Westcon Comstore's Imagine Middle East event.
Hang on, Westcom. Sorry, they never gave me your name for the speech. Westcom Comstore.
Yeah, let me drop it in the chat. 1 second.
I'm also doing it, Snable.
So then I can say, catch me at Westcom Comstore, Imagine Middle East.
Yeah,
Westcom.
Sabrina has put that in the chat.
Okay, cool. And do I need to put a date or time, or I just say you can hear more at Westcon Comstore, Imagine Middle East?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Do you need me to say a date or a time, or I can just say you can catch more at Western Consul, Imagine Middle East?
Yeah. If you want to say the date, you can say I'll be there on the 2nd of November.
2nd of November. Okay. And you want me to speak for about just under a minute?
Yeah, just send it a minute. That's fine.
Okay, I'm ready.
Sorry, I
Cool.
made a mistake on my previous one. I've got the C from West Con.
Okay, I got it. Westcon Conference Imagine Middle East event on the 2nd of November. Okay, I'll try and do my best. Let's give it a go.
Okay, cool. I'm going to remove Snable from the stream. Just give me maybe 8 seconds this time because I need to put you in a solo layout.
Okay.
In 3, 2.
Hi, I'm Mimi Nicklin, and I'm a best-selling author and the CEO of the global agency Freedom. I'm going to be at Westcon Comstore's Imagine Middle East conference coming up on the 2nd of November, talking about empathy in our world, in our workplaces, and in the organizational landscape that we're working in today. As we look forward to 2022 and everything yet to come, is empathy our secret superpower? Can higher levels of understanding change your business and your category? And if so, how would you do that? Join me at Westcon Comstore's Imagine Middle East conference to hear a little bit more about how empathy might just be our secret superpower. Was that okay, ladies?
That was perfect.
Yeah,
You
I think
just
it
made
was
it
really good.
Okay, cool.
awesome. Thank you very much, Mimi.
You're welcome. Do you need anything else from me? I mean, maybe the agent's done it, but I don't know if you need like photos or bio or anything. If you do, just let me know.
Snable, you're breaking up there.
I just put my email there. So if you do need anything,